despite someone's age, ability, skin colour, religion, disability or ability, we all go through the same shit as humans. It's just human struggle. Like, pain is universal, struggle is universal, hardship is universal, not feeling good enough or inadequate is universal. So what I try my best to do is just show me. No layers, no filter, just unapologetically me.
To reshape our perspective of what inclusivity looks like, because honestly, Javeno, I see it all, and I'd love to know your take on being that person that sees so much of the discrimination and because I'm like you, I'm supposed to be so professional. I'm one of the only interpreters that put themselves on social media, and
Really?
I get you know, and I've had some, I know there's people out there that don't particularly like it. So it's not deemed professional. And as an interpreter, you have to have a boundary, because you're supposed to be completely impartial. You're supposed to facilitate communication between two parties, and you're not supposed to be in the room. You're not supposed. No. If you look at the research, and obviously I've done the degrees and stuff, and it's important, because it's my job to lift up deaf people so they can have their voice and they can fight their fight. It's not my job to do it for them. So there's a fine art for being an advocate or fighting for someone. But me as a person, who I am, I'm a fight for you. That's in my nature. So I've had to go on this mad journey where I've had to learn when and where I can step in. Do you know what I mean? So
break the rules here.
And take the There is times, I'll give you an example. So interpreting Alton Towers, right? Big Merlin company, multi-billion pound, invited a load of deaf people out to enjoy a day. Now, there's fast track passes, aren't there, for people with, ADHD, autism, whatever, got disabilities. None of that information on the website says that all of the information on the website that says you have to now book a pass, because our our scope of disabilities have gotten so big. They have to book now these fast track passes, and there's not enough, and they sell out. So when we've all got there, you've got 50 deaf parents with disabled kids. Imagine trying to manage a disabled child in a queue and being deaf, not being able to hear anything, being told you can't have a fast track pass because you haven't booked it online. But none of that information was accessible in sign language, and this is an inclusivity department within this big company. So I was there trying to interpret for this person, that person, this person, and I couldn't do it. And that's my job, is just to give him a voice and give them a voice. And they're all saying the same thing, and we were just getting nowhere for hours. And time was ticking. I'm thinking, these kids, they want to get on a ride. I just had to take my interpreter hat on, and I just went, listen, you've messed up. You've not made it inclusive. You've not made your information available in sign language. It's very simple. These people have not been made aware that they had to book online. You need to fix this. And then they all start cheering. And in that moment, that's a moment I've had to break the rules.
Do you know how powerful you are?
I don't know. What do you mean? That was just
No.
in the moment.
So with you, I don't think you understand how powerful you are. You've got something that not many people have.
What's
so
that?
what you have,
a bit crazy.
You're a bit nuts. So you get people, when it comes to disability, deaf, everyone's got a mask on and pretending, because guess what? It's honourable to help disabled people, isn't it? You got into this, like similar to me, not to be honourable, because you want to. So I speak to so many people that are involved in disability, and it's a job. This is not a job to you. So you doing that. So even in that situation at Alton Towers, you didn't have to go and take off your professional hat. That's how you help people. So when people see and hear the way you are, you're helping more people than you actually know. And I think, yes, there's times to be professional and do what we've got to do, and I get that. But then when we have to break the rules and you're not afraid to break the rules, that there is what the people in our community that we're helping, that's when they go, do you know what, Hayley's fighting for me. And when they get that, it's that there is what I think really drives me and you, knowing that we're fighting for people that maybe haven't got nobody fighting for them. We're being a voice of people that maybe there's nobody speaking for them. So in that small thing that you did, the gesture is ginormous. And
it was me trying to manage a really shit situation.
You've got a lot of power. And I mean that in a great way. I mean that you've got a lot of influential power, because a lot of people in that community have got nobody fucking fighting for them, Hills.
I know. It's so, I mean? And it's really hard when you're trying to keep that professional, and some people are just being blatantly ignorant,
of course,
or discriminative, and you're like trying to keep that. You know, them memes that say, am I going to stay professional or show them I was raised on the streets? Like, it's really, it is hard.
I've been recently on this new journey of blocking. I kind of I've been blocking people. So usually
on social media.
So I don't, like I said, I don't engage in the comments. But then just to make sure the algorithms are nice, and what I do is sometimes I'll click on something and I'll just like the first 20 comments or something. So every now and then you see something. There's always somebody who's a job's worth. So I've done talks and seminars where I've led these things with brain surgeons and neuroscientists, and I'm sat there going to Javeno from Jamaica side trying to brain anyway, and they love what I do and they want me to teach them certain things. Yet there's going to be somebody who will message going, the law states you're not supposed to physically touch disabled people. That's a bit intrusive. Blocked. The law states that you're not supposed to do... Blocked. Because I don't think they get how important it is just to feel human. I don't think people get how important it is just for normality. Like one of my girls, man, like I remember one of the days... I remember this person because I remember the profile was some mad Donald Trump like face. There was a Donald Trump, but then there's like a speech bubble that says, so I'll never forget. So one of my young girls, man, she's got cancer. She's recovering from cancer. And it just broke my heart that she doesn't... I remember the first because she come in, man, she looks like a little Disney character, just cutest little thing. I'll show you a video in a minute, and I give her just the biggest hug. And then as I was pulling away, she's like, no, don't pull away. I don't get many hugs nowadays. They're not allowed to hug me. And I went, oh.
What?
And I went...
Who's that?
Yeah, so I went outside. She was about 20 minutes early, so I went outside, I broke down, and I came back in. And then long story short, in the hospital, because she was going through chemo and she was doing, and I think COVID was obviously still on people's minds and mouths. They weren't allowed to touch her, basically. And I said, listen, I'm going to give you the biggest hug every time I see you. I don't care if the law book or the rule book says I'm not supposed to physically, I don't care. So when she comes in now, I give her the biggest hug. And she went, Mummy and Daddy hugged me and my family, but in the hospital. And I've even had carers who work in care homes who have said to me, like, thankfully, that they really love my work, but they've said, I just can't believe. We know how important touch is, but in our working day, we're not allowed. We will get sacked if we touch our customers and our, clients. And I went, what do you mean? And I obviously, I've never worked in care, so I don't know the professional side of it and the legalities. But I've had so many people who work in care homes saying that they're not allowed to touch. And I went, I know the world's gone a bit mad with things that you're seeing with pedos and sexual assaults, and I get it, I totally get it. But if a little girl's got a cancer, I'm gonna hug you. If one of my ladies who's got dementia, I hug her, I squeeze her, and then we have a look at two-step. When I have a look at two-step with her, it reminds her of Bevis Hammond and growing up in Jamaica and having a look at dance So when I hug her, we just naturally, every Friday I'm doing it after this day when we go to my class after this.
So is that because it's your you've got around all the red tape and all the rules because it's your thing and these people are coming to you.
It's mine.
And it's, they're in your little thing that you've created, so you make the rules.
I make the rules, I don't care.
And there's no one that can come for you.
Nobody, I don't care. That's the difference when
and
I say...
And the power of the social media is, if they even tried...
Yeah, and this is what I mean. I've had people try legally try.
Have
I
they?
don't care. No one's legally tried to come for me, but I've had people say, if somebody's seeing this legally, you would be in trouble because this and that. And I said, I don't care. I don't care. The only thing I care about is my relationship is so pure and beautiful with the people that I've got. They know what it is.
Exactly.
So I don't
That's
care
all that matters.
if you in your local office thinks that you shouldn't be holding that person like that. The other day somebody mentioned something about I was holding one of my guys up and I had him from the back. One of the girls had him from the back, just holding him up because that's where she wants me to get hold. When I held her from the side, she loses balance, so she tells me to go behind and grab her like underneath the armpits. This one idiot was saying, "Oh, I'm there with boob" or something like that.
Oh my God.
And it's like, do you know what? You can't please everybody. But it's a very small percentage though, Hills. That's like a 1% of people. Out of 1,000 comments, you might get 2 stupid things like that. But them 2 stupid comments used to get me really mad.
It's mad, isn't it,
And I
how
go,
the
what do you mean?
1% that's negative can overcome that 99% of the positive.
Because I literally go, what are you looking at?
I remember seeing your post and you hit the nail on the head, and when I had to watch it over and over again, and you said about, I'm not going to treat my clients like I treat cattle and raise them up in these hoists. And
No.
I know I am strong enough to lift. So why am I going to use some hoist?
100%. I've
I
had
was just
companies
like,
try
yeah.
and send me things,
What hoist?
and I said, "Yo, no, they're not cows. I'm gonna feel you, just like with my kids. A cuddle of your kids. When Ada gives you a cuddle, that human connection. That's what love is. That's what when you know somebody cares. So when you see somebody in a wheelchair, or someone that's disabled, unknowingly the world can treat people less. Unknowingly. So a lot of my guys, I want them to know that Javeno cares, and I will break every rule if needs be to let you know that I care. If that means that I'm going to hug you, I'm going to kiss you, I kiss them all. Every one of them I kiss them. Well done. Mwah. Give them a kiss on the head. Because I want you to know that this is not a gimmick. And the trouble that I've got at the moment, Hills, I've been doing this for 23 years for free, right? Way before social media.
That's mad.
I only started filming probably 8 years ago because my brother told me to film.
Did you talk to your clients and say, listen, this is I'm going to maybe make some videos, and were they like, cool?
No.
You didn't ask them?
One day, literally, my brother was like, you need to start filming yourself because I don't think you know how
So
powerful
what
it
do
is.
they think about it? Like, what are
Love
your
it,
clients?
and I love it. Reason why I love it and they love it, but I love it for them because I look at it like a big brother, right? So I'm a big brother to a lot of the youngsters. I'm a big brother figure. So now, as a big brother figure, as a mother figure, your job is to say to your daughter, you're amazing, you're beautiful, empowerment, and fill you with all this stuff. Eventually, what the kids do, yeah, come on, mum, you're supposed to say that you're my mum. Oh, yeah, you're telling me I'm great again and I'm beautiful. Eventually, it kind of goes, because you're my mum, you're supposed to say that. Big brother, I'm supposed to say to the youngsters that you're amazing, that you're this. So now, but I mean it, now, what I love the most is, let's say when one of them come in, like say when somebody comes in and they go, Jay, have you seen that video? It's got 10 million views. Haley in Birmingham said that I'm amazing and I'm beautiful. Ava in Jamaica said that I'm so strong. Debbie in Germany says this, and guess what I say? I told you so. I've been telling you that. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I told you so.
Yeah.
And now I love it that now everything that I say is just getting validated from people around the world, and I can go, I told you so. But my problem now is the gimmicks, like between me and you. You know what? I'll be real, I'm not going to lie, because it is the truth. And like I said, I can only ever talk the truth. My work, they're not gimmicks, they're not toys. This is why I get emotional when I do all my stuff, because these are people I genuinely I care about and I love. I will never, ever put you as a piece of my, like this, like even though social media is massive for me, every time I film, that's a minute of that 30-minute session. I always say to him, the priority isn't filming, is to making sure that we're doing the exercise and doing the things that we need to get you healthy. That will always be the priority. Despite if a video gets 10 million views and that's irrelevant. So that video that I film is 1 minute of a 30-minute session.
Have you ever shut the video off because they're trying to perform or something?
100%. I've banned a few people.
Have you?
Well, one of my girls, who's probably the most famous of them all, called Kira.
Oh, she's amazing. I follow her. I love her.
She's a little diva.
She's a glamour girl.
She thinks she's Mariah Carey. I don't know who she thinks she is. She's my little sister, but when there's times where she says something about, oh yeah, this video got so many likes, and oh, can we film this? And she said something about likes, and I went, it ain't about likes and shares. So then for like a month, I didn't film her, just to let her know it's not about the filming. The filming's a byproduct.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? So now my problem is now, because I do it from the purity of my heart and literally from me and making sure that I'm a good person and I'm leaving my little stamp and helping people. I've got so many people now that want to come to J7, high-profile people.
To train or help?
Oh, guess what?
What?
It's like I said, it looks cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've had so many people about to say, no, you're not coming. I don't care how famous you are. You're not coming to J7 just so that you can post on your social media. I've been to J7 today. I've been around some kids with cancer and Down syndrome and cerebral palsy, because it's like clout chasing to me. I've had some people, I'm not going to name them, who are fantastic, who are just really, it means a lot to them. So they don't post it on the socials. They might just turn up at the gym just to say, yo, I love what you do and it's fantastic. Where I've had some people now where you go, you know, you've never cared about disability, but now you know that what my stuff is so high profile, you want to come down and take a picture so you can post it. You're not using my guys, they're not toys, they're not gimmicks for me. These are my people. With or without J7, they will still be my people. I've been doing this for 23 years, with or without the cameras. So I need to make sure that that's never tarnished.
The intention of your heart is why you're successful.
Yeah.
Not because you've had viral videos, it's because the intention of someone's heart, you can see it.
Yeah.
And humans can see that. And yeah, I think making sure that stays. But I think I wanted to share something with you about inclusivity in terms of what it looks like. And I remember working with this group of I was interpreting for a deaf actor, and this group of autistic children were being taught how to clown by a clown professional. So like clowning, like drama. Yeah, so like, Mr. Bean?
Yeah.
He's like super, super clever. He's got like 3 degrees and he's just really intellectual. He's renowned in the deaf community, obviously communicating and telling a story, an hour-long film without speaking is a big skill.
Of course it is.
So this amazing man was teaching these autistic kids how to do clowning, and it was brilliant. Anyway, we sat down at lunch and he went, Hayley, you know what? Inclusivity isn't about making sure someone can come to the party, putting a ramp in, booking an interpreter, getting that in place. Real inclusivity is about knowing what you need to do to go to their party. And that stuck with me. And I was just like, that is where the world's going wrong. Because I will get booked and I feel like tokenism. You know how like the token black person used to be on the screen and you knew. It's like the interpreter sometimes feels like, I'm here, but I'm just ticking a box. You've made it inclusive. But have you asked any of the deaf public? Have you reached out to any of the deaf community and made sure they know? And I was like, it really is about just... And I think that's what we see in your gym at J7, is that it's their party. You've made their party and you've not said, right, I do this, I lift this weight, this is my machine, that's my machine. How do I need to change it so you can come in? You've made it about them and you've given them the platform to have their own party. And everyone, when they see it, is learning about their party.
Of course.
And that to me is where we need to level up our inclusivity.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, when I have deaf people on my podcast, we're not going to talk about being deaf or sign language. We're going to talk about being mums or an inadequate mum. We're going to talk about all the things that aren't, because that's, again, the deafness has become really popular and like sign language because of social media and stuff. And it's about that intention and like, okay, deaf people need representation and they need a voice and they need to share their experiences so people can learn. But they also need access to content that isn't about being deaf.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
yeah, I really...
You know what I think as well? I generally think... What I try my best to do, I always say, when I'm 100% myself, I can't fail. I don't wear no mask.
Even on a bad day?
I'm 100% myself. Always. I don't pretend to be nobody else. I don't ever pretend to be who you want me to be. I'll always be myself. And I think when somebody sees that, I think it's quite empowering. And I always think, I just want to showcase to the world what keeps us together as humans. Right? So despite someone's age, ability, skin colour, religion, disability or ability, we all go through the same shit as humans. It's just human struggle. Like, pain is universal. Struggle is universal. Hardship is universal. Not feeling good enough or inadequate is universal. So what I try my best to do is just show me. No layers, no filter, just unapologetically me. Because when people see that, it makes them go, you know what? Let me try that. Let me try that. And then I think with my disabled guys, when they see that there's no layers with me and I'm just being myself, they're not afraid to be themselves. And I think that's the most powerful, that's the most empowering thing when somebody goes, you know what? I'm me. I'm not going to hide who I am. A lot of disabled people do hide who they are. They try and hide the disability. Maybe because a bit of embarrassment, which they shouldn't. Maybe they feel inadequate, they feel less. And I just let them know, you ain't less, you ain't nobody better than you. You ain't no different from nobody else. Every day you see me with my sliders on, with my dry knees. Every day you see me, don't get me wrong, look at me today, I ain't got a trim. I'm not that bothered. If I'm going somewhere, I'll go get a trim. We're talking about, it's about perfection, it's about chasing perfection. People are so obsessed with perfection. You got to eliminate the quest for perfection because it will crush you. And I think we live in a society now when you're watching social media and all these things, everyone's chasing perfection, and I want my guys to know that you're perfectly you. You're perfectly imperfect. And I think I have to lead from the front and show them that. So a lot of the times with me, I want them to see me not at my worst, but at my normal. Meaning, you might see my look of dry knees every now and then. You might see look of bushy beard on without a fade every now and then. Because I'm normal, just like you. So you don't have to turn up to my gym expecting to, or trying to portray perfect. You're in a wheelchair, but you want to portray whatever you... No, just portray who you want to be.
Yeah, so how do you... I mean, I imagine you have a lot of relationships with the carers or the parents of people that you work with. So, like, not only are you obviously doing what you do with your clients, you're connecting with the parents and stuff like that. So you're helping them, am I right? And you're helping them. How? So if there was a mother on here, say, a single mom, and she had a child that was disabled and was lacking motivation, and she didn't know how to kind of get that drive into her child, what would you say the best way to help a parent? Because drive and motivation are different, aren't they, a little bit? Sometimes... You
have to get the motivation into the child.
Yeah, like how what should a parent do to try and get... I mean, teenagers are hard to motivate at the best of times.
Should I tell you what you should do? Get yourself involved in something together where you both don't know what's going to happen. That's a trust. Where you and your child are going, you know what, let's try something together. It could be an activity, it could be a walk, it could be... I've done it before with karaoke. I can't sing for nothing. But I say, you know what, let's sing this song together and see what happens. When you commit to a journey with somebody or a task together, not knowing the outcome, generally both not knowing the outcome, there's something that brings you together. And I think when your child or the person you're caring for knows that you're willing to just roll the dice and try something together. I think it's just really empowering. And I think not everyone, listen, it's not about, obviously people that go to the gym, you go to the gym, it's not about motivation. Motivation is going to come and go. Not every day you're going to be fully gassed up to train or turn up. But one thing you should always, discipline is what's going to get you anywhere. So whether you're able-bodied or disabled, I say to my guys, I said to one of them yesterday, she's a young girl, she's on a period and she's really hormonal and she's having a bit of a meltdown, it's the worst thing in the world. I said, cool, see you at 1 o'clock. No, I said, see you at 1 o'clock. I'm not looking for motivation. Motivation is going to come and go. Discipline.
Yeah.
And after a while, discipline literally becomes a part of your identity. Right now, when you start on a journey, whether it's your fitness journey, you personally or that person, that mother with the child, it's discipline is something that just bounces off you like this. If you stick at it, it sticks to you and becomes part of you, and it will never leave you. So whether that child's committing to a fitness journey, I've had a young child recently who's committing to like baking and cooking. I've had somebody who's committed to acting, wants to be in the theatre. Like he's got a cerebral palsy. I think discipline. So I think it's about just making sure that person knows that giving up ain't an option. Like my son's going through it now. He's just started football, and he's never been into football. He's just recently started, and he's trying his best. He's not the best player, and I think maybe he's in his head. He's thinking, "I'll start football. I'm going to be the best." I said, "No, son, but I'm not allowing him to quit. Quitting's not an option. He's going to stick it out for as long as he can. Maybe after 6 months, if he's not liking it, maybe I'll say to him, come out."
Yeah.
But I think that's the same kind of basic strategy with everybody.
But they're just so consumed, aren't they, now? We're exposed to so much content that shows us the good things. They don't, and this is why I love the vlogging, is that everyone who's watched me for, however, if I do, say in 5 years, I'm still doing podcasting, they've been able to watch when I was nervous, I wouldn't go in front of a microphone, and it's the progression that you don't see.
Yeah.
You just see when you're doing good. And then the kids, they don't understand that. So it's like trying to motivate them to, and your gym as well, it's different though, because it's focused on the emotional and mental well-being of your clients, and not what the fitness industry is so like overly done. How did you avoid being infiltrated by the fitness industry in terms of personally when you got into fitness? How were you not? Because it is very, I mean, I've done it. I've had my goals and they've been aesthetic and they've been, I want to do this and I want to do that, because it's influential. Yeah. So how have you avoided that? And
I'm a weirdo. My mindset, I'm so weird.
You're not a weirdo.
I've been an athlete, so I was a professional athlete for many years. And even from an early age, I'm an athlete and I'll always be an athlete. I want people to hear my words and my message and what I want to get out. You ain't going to see me with my top off ever. You ain't going to see me flexing. You're not going to see me doing the typical, because I'm trying to sell sex. I'm not trying to sell sex. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just trying to show people real beauty and magic, and I say it all the time. So with me, I've already said to myself, if I'm going to influence the world like the way I want to, I need to create something that's going to live forever. Me with my top off showing a six-pack or a bicep is going to get a few likes, but is it going to pierce someone's heart? Is it going to provoke someone to think different? The only way I'm going to do that is by pouring my heart out with my words and my actions, not my physique. So I've always had that approach.
But you've also applied it to your work in the gym, and you feel it, and you can tell that your aim isn't about the strength, though. It's about the feeling. So when did you know about fitness can give you this feeling? Like, is it throughout your career as an athlete, or just?
I seen the power in it straight away. So once I seen, Hayley, how quickly my little daft personality and my little energy can change someone's life and then give him a feeling of worth and just feeling valued and appreciated and accepted and loved. And then that then filters through to that person's mum and dad and grandma and brothers and sisters. And then before you know it, I've trained a little girl, but then within a month, I've got 7 or 8 family members saying, oh my God, thank you for bringing some joy back into our lives. I go, rah. There's actually real power in, like, what I'm doing. And for me, it's always about, what do you want? So obviously doing the gym stuff that I've always done and being an athlete, and the majority of gym people, it's aesthetics. Look a bicep, look a tricep, look a booty, 6-pack. With me, it's never been aesthetics. So I always say, what do you want? And I always ask people, and I always think about a lady that came in to my gym. I'm going to call her Red because I don't know her name. But she had everything red. A wheelchair was red, a jumper, a hat. She had a little beret on that was red. She had gloves on, little gloves that was red. And me and her were speaking. This woman was a 55-year-old woman, and she kind of taught me something. And with every one of my clients, I always ask them, what do you want? Because if it's aesthetics, that's short, that's quick. It has to be, when that answer to that question needs to be something so powerful that will last forever. So I remember she was 55, wheelchair user. Her mum and dad had cared for her whole life. And I remember saying to her, what do you want? And she went, all I want is, and luckily her mum and dad were still alive, that were the elderly, and she went, all I want is my parents to know that when they go, I'm going to be okay. So when you got a want like that, that's only emotion and heart and passion and real internal kind of getting everything out internally will ever get that kind of stuff. And with my guys, I always say, it doesn't need to be that deep. If I ask you what you want, it has to be something deep enough that will last forever. If it's just to lose a bit, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with wanting to lose a little bit of weight, gain a bit of muscle, but it can't just be that. Because if it's just that, guess what? When it gets cold as hell outside, that's not going to be enough to get you in the gym. When it gets a little bit dark outside, wanting to lose a bit of weight, it's not going to go, I'm going to go gym. When it gets cold and dark outside, but your reason is, like one of my youngsters, his mum passed away about 3-4 years ago. He wants to make sure that he's in the greatest shape so that he can live long and healthy, because he promised his mum that he's going to live long and healthy before she died. That's what's going to get you out of bed in that cold. And them cold mornings, just like me or you, or when it's dark outside, or you can't be bothered, or you're a little bit blocked up because you got a bit of a cold, that's what's going to make you go, you know what, I'm going to go to Jay's gym today. Because that promise that I made to my mum, that promise that I made to myself. And
it's through that relationship that's been installed into the client and their goals and things like that. And you couldn't do that if you didn't have a relationship and you didn't have those, you didn't remove those boundaries that professionals like to put up. So it's... And listen, being professional is great and I get it.
Yeah. But there's always a time to be unprofessional, and I think that's where a lot of, that's where the most of the influence is.
Do you get in the rooms with the professionals? Like, I know that you worked with the council, didn't you? I mean, do they reach out to you?
A lot of times. I do so many keynote speeches. I've been loving them recently. A lot of keynote speeches.
But I mean with policies and things, creating policies, work at, groups or focus groups of lived experience, like all your people, do they get asked to go and feedback?
I'm not sure about my clients, but I've done a lot of talks and been in a lot of rooms with people who are in charge of the policies, and I'm not the most professional, I'm not going to lie. But they do listen. It makes sense what I say to them. Right. And one thing that I realise is, Hales, they don't ask questions. Don't assume someone deaf doesn't want this or can do that or can't do that. Don't assume someone with a terminal illness doesn't want to do this or that or that. Ask questions. So a lot of these times, I remember I did one for a major company. I'm not going to say the name because I might get in trouble. I remember saying with the person who was in charge of the policies, the 2 people, and they was in charge of all the disability stuff and the inclusivity stuff. So I said, everything that you created, whose idea, whose voice is it? And they went, ours. And I went, who cares about your voice? How about you go and ask? It's like somebody in a wheelchair. I do it all the time, and a lot of times they are actually shocked because nobody asked them this question. I trained somebody yesterday, and I remember saying, "Okay, so what can you do?" Because a lot of people don't ask questions. Like imagine me and you was training in the gym now, and you was my client. I say to you, "Okay, Hayley, have you got any injuries? What can you do? What can't? I'll do a little. You know what I mean?
You got to know.
No." With disabled people, it's like, I don't know whether it's a bit of a fear thing with the community.
They don't want to offend.
They don't want to offend me. I want to know. Can you move your leg? Can you move your neck? How much? Can you stand up? And they love it because they don't get asked that question. So I remember these people I was talking to, I said, you know what, the policy is easy. If you ask a question, go out there and sit and ask. Don't feel awkward about asking somebody in a wheelchair, can they use their legs, or what do they need in the toilet? It's not offensive. It's like back in the day when people used to say, you know, like some black people used to go, what can I call you? Like that. Like, a black guy call me black, innit? I don't know. Like, ask people what you ask people, and I think a lot of BS. Why
is that though? Why I get it all the time where people say, I want to learn sign language, and it's like, oh, you kind of, deaf people are just eye rolling because everyone says I want to learn sign language, but when they actually do it, but there's a fear. I know so many people, interpreters, that will take themselves off screen because they are scared of getting it wrong and signing wrong. And do you know what I've realised with me is that my skill isn't, I am not the best interpreter. I'm dyslexic. I can barely spell. It's not my innate language, you know, it's not my original language. You get some people that their first language is sign language because they were raised by deaf people, and, you know, then they become interpreters. You know, and I went in it very late. So I'm never going to be this amazing interpreter, but what I am going to be, I hate saying the balls because I hate when people say that, but I'm not scared to make a mistake.
100%.
And I'm not scared to just go, I understand why we have to make sure that the right signs are out there and that doesn't infiltrate and influence people. And because you get Mr. Tumble, like he's doing some of these signs, like that's a sign for vagina, and he's doing this for crab. And it's like, I swear, because it's Makaton, it's not sign language.
Right.
So it's a different language.
But that's why that's why you're likable, Hayley. Because you're not afraid to make a mistake, and and that's human, and people connect with humans. And
interpreters can be inadequate, and there's just a bigger picture. So when this video and this podcast will have like a little me in the corner, I'm gonna do I'm not gonna do the best job of it, and I just feel like there's just a bigger picture at play, and having the ears to say, okay, what's it look like? You see the subtitles and the box. What did you like, or would you prefer that wasn't there? And just listening. So because I'm committed to just seeing what inclusivity could look like, and that's all it is. As long as you've got open ears and you've got an open heart and you'll take on board. And I think that's what why people responded well to me, is because when I did fuck up or make mistakes, they go, listen, Hayley, just to let you know you did this wrong. And I said, thanks. And that was my in to the deaf community. And I never had that before. And I think there's value in that, and just being not scared to just do you and just make mistakes and be inadequate.
I remember I met a deaf lady.
Yeah, there are a lot of people on my Instagram have asked, has Javeno ever worked with deaf people? Have you?
I've worked with loads. I remember when I met a deaf lady, and this was about 6 years ago. But as I met her, I said to her, so can you read my lips?
Did you shout?
Eh?
Well, you shout anyway.
Yeah, I shout anyway. I said, can you read my lips? And she was laughing her head off, right? And the reason why she was laughing was because said me being daft like that. But I was being genuinely honest, by the way. I was like, can you read my lips? Because obviously I can't sign language.
Yeah.
And she went, do you know how many times she's been in places where she can lip read? So you can just talk normal, and then people will either ignore her or treat her really bad because she's deaf, but she understands everything that they're saying. So she said that it's very rare somebody comes over to her and goes, hey, love, can you read my lips? And me doing that, it's made her laugh because it was so normal and human.
Yeah.
And that there is, I think India can read lips as well.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure.
I can read lips.
Can you read lips as well?
I've been in nightclubs and listen because I can tell what people are. Honestly, you be careful around deaf people because you don't want to talk behind someone's back.
Oh, trust me. But you know what you said about inclusivity? You know what I think, to me, what inclusivity is, what I've never really been asked that before. I think inclusivity is everything that you said, Hales.
Hold on, you've been on all these podcasts and no one's asked you what inclusivity is.
To me, it's kind of what I try and do every day is knowing that something may not affect me, but don't be oblivious to the fact that it could affect somebody else. There might be a bench there and a barbell there, doesn't affect me, but I've got Amy coming in a minute, and we need to. So without even thinking, I'm going to move that bench, move the dumbbell, move the barbell, because I know Amy's wheelchair. Inclusivity is just making sure that you're thinking about other people's situation, even if it's something that may not affect me directly, but what about that person and that person? And I don't think it's rocket science. I don't think it's that difficult to include people. And you know what inclusivity is? Normality. And this is what I do the other day. I do my drills, Hales, man. I do weird drills, right? And it breaks my heart when I hear somebody young saying, I love football. But you know they're thinking, and they've said it to me, I'll never play football. I love basketball. I never play basketball. I love golf. So some of my content, me and Amy played golf. I've played basketball with people. I played football with people. And it's not to do anything other than give them a normal experience, because they deserve that. It's not about giving them something extravagant, taking them to bloody Wembley or doing something crazy, thinking you watch football and you love football and you're in a wheelchair and your legs do not work, but I'm going to find a way where you can experience a bit of football today. If that means me holding you up, if that means me sellotaping a football to you, if that means we're going to play golf today but we're going to lie down and I'm going to find a way. And that to me is inclusivity, just giving people normal experiences and treating them like you would anybody else. It's very, very simple.
And you've learned that. And the whole world needs to learn that. And I think there's a wonderful organisation, and I'd love it if you got in contact with them. I've interpreted with them for a few times. It's called ALFI. I don't know the acronym. Alliance for Inclusive Education, but they're talking to the policymakers and they're campaigning to try and get more inclusive education rather than having special schools and normal schools. They want all this segregation is basically the reason why people struggle to understand what inclusivity is and what you've just done. I need to move this out. I need to do this. I need to figure this out. Is because you have a skill that some miraculous way you've learned. But we need to learn that in the classroom. There shouldn't be like, oh, you're doing well, top set. You're not so well, so we're going to put you in here. You've got special needs, and then you can tick all the boxes, and we'll try and get you going. If we're all together, we're learning more than just computers are going to replace our brains and everything. So why is it we're paying so much money for the brain but not for the heart? And it doesn't make sense. Why are we not teaching these kids how to look after each other and putting them in the same room? And so their ALFI is an organisation that's trying to campaign for less segregated departments where they just kind of get shoved out. And
look into them.
Yeah, I think
I've heard of them.
So what's before we draw this, because we could talk for hours. You've got a class and we could talk for hours.
Are we going to do this again?
I would love to do this. Have you not had loads of requests to do like a Javeno podcast?
Yeah.
Are you not going to do one?
I talk too much. I talk too much of an artist.
Yeah, but you could just be a Javeno podcast.
Me and you do one then. You sort it out.
I would do one with you all day.
Tell me when and where and I'll turn up.
Okay, we'll sort that out. Don't let anyone else do it.
I won't.
Okay. You're special. And I want to know, so what's the big goal? What's the big goal? And I know, and I've watched you say before, you can't replicate J7 because you can't replicate Javeno. And actually, I did want to tell you, I saw a little Javeno in my gym.
Brilliant.
And I really wanted to take a picture of the it wasn't a little Javeno, sorry. It was very big, tonk like you. Really tonk black guy, had his man bag on, big beard, and he had this guy that looked like he had CP in an electric wheelchair, getting him out, putting him on the machine. And I was like, I want to take a picture and send it to Javeno. Because you've said, I can't replicate, but you are. You are doing it. It is spreading. Because I mean, I don't know, but he all day, I think, would have seen your content. Even if he was doing it before he saw the content, you know, you are spreading that. You're reinventing what love, care looks like, just from the fact that you're a big black guy, a man. You're a man. You're black. You know, these things are reinventing what actual humanity needs to look like.
Yeah.
And I nearly took a picture. I was like, I can't. It's invasion of the privacy.
So
I nearly walked over and gone, can I take a picture for you? I really want to take a picture of you guys because you're amazing. But yeah. So what is the big goal? I mean, other than doing what you're doing and influencing people, which we know that you do, what's the big goal?
To keep making people happy. That's all I want to do. I don't think too much. I'm very present, Hales. I don't do thinking too much in the future because I think if you do that, you take your foot off what's going on now. And like I said, I think life's beautiful and just grateful for everything, the blessings that we've got daily. But the goal for me is gratefully and not boasting. I seem to have made millions of people around the world happy, smile, and kind of feel valued. I just want that to continue because there's more people to touch in that way. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to change who I am. And if I can keep on showcasing, like I said, just 100% me every single day, and I can influence other people to maybe do the same and maybe follow in my imperfect footsteps, I think that the world will be a little bit of a better place. That's all. I'm not saying I'm something amazing, but I do believe that I am doing some good in the world, and I think if people can replicate that in their own way, long may it continue. You know what I mean?
I hope that you and your people, your clients, your team, your tribe, I hope they get bigger influence in the policies that are being put together, and I hope that you're able to help facilitate that. And I know you like to keep your boundaries and keep everyone out and just look after your people and do your thing. But they've got a gift to give. Yeah, you're right. You can facilitate that, and I hope, that's what I hope. Yeah. But thank you so much for coming on The Inadequate.
It was great.
Thank you.